So I'm Basil Geoghegan.
Yep.
I'm from Ireland,
Yes.
and I've been climbing for about 8 or 9 years, and have now finally decided to climb Everest, get it out of the system, and then I can go back to climbing other things in the Alps nearer to home.
Good, good. Hey, so tell me about that, get it out of the system. Because
Well,
I can relate to it, actually. But
Well, it's funny. I think, to be honest, from a climber's perspective, I'm not sure that climbing Everest on oxygen is, by the normal route, is necessarily a huge achievement. But for any individual, it is a huge achievement. And when you're back in Dublin or Auckland or Christchurch or London or wherever you come from, people recognise what you've done. And therefore, a lot of people over the last 5 years have said, "Oh, are you going to climb Everest?" Even though it was never really on the agenda. It mainly came on the agenda because I had an opportunity through a gap through work.
Right.
And if there was a God who was going to give me any other peaks to climb, I'm sure there's a lot more other peaks that I would name, which frankly would be a bigger achievement. But this is going to be fun, and it's not just the summit. It is the summit, but it's the whole 2-month experience, and frankly enjoying every day as it comes is part of the fun.
Tell me a bit about the journey of getting here and the Forgotten Irish too. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, the journey for me in getting here has been it's been a long journey in that I've been climbing for a long time, and you always want to push yourself a little bit harder, see how you can get on, and that may be, frankly, doing something in the climbing gym or on rock or something else, but altitude is something else you want to test yourself at, so that's part of it. And I was going to do it privately on my own, not tell a lot of people about it, because in one way that's easier to do it. And then because I'm chairman of the Ireland Fund of Great Britain, the Forgotten Irish is a campaign that we have to raise money for Irish people who emigrated to the UK and haven't done that well. I decided in the kind of 6 weeks beforehand that I would, once I'd actually really absolutely committed that I was going and that I felt I was ready to go, that it was too good an opportunity to turn up, because people happen to donate based on events, and this is a pretty important event. And for all the people who we help, it would be great to have that flag at the top of the mountain in 4 or 5 weeks' time.
6 weeks, so that's not very long, is it, ahead of time?
No, it wasn't that long. I had it in the back of my mind, but I didn't want to do anything about it until closer to the time. And
it's been successful, raising money for that? Yeah,
it's had a great response. I've got some names to write on this, where if I can get them to the top, there'll be some good payback. And a lot of people have said it's something I was going to support, but now this is the reason why. And some people think I'm mad. Some, it's funny that my friends seem to divide between men and women. Women kind of tell me to take care of myself, and men then whisper to me afterwards, "God, I'd love to do that. How did you get the permission?"
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, how do you manage your mind in this situation?
I think on that, one of the things about going climbing compared to the rest of your life is that in one way it's a huge luxury, but that you can have one single focus. And the only focus is getting to the top of the mountain. Yeah. And particularly when you're going on an expedition like this, where you've got huge Sherpa support, huge experience, it really is just up to you. You don't have to do that much else. So I think there is a luxury in having only one problem to solve for a period of 2 months, as opposed to the usual detritus of everyday life when we've got lots of things we have to do. It's very difficult to remind yourself of what it was like last time you were in a kind of tough situation. You always know afterwards, you kind of think, wow, any problems I get in the next year are going to be nothing compared to what I've done in the last, on the summit day. And I think it is that if one feels you've trained, you're not feeling sick, the weather's okay, at that point there's not really a reason for not getting to the top. And ultimately it's about managing that, and it's not just about training, it's about not getting a cough or not getting a cold, or not having stuff to worry about at home. And I think all of that. And then when you're climbing with people like Mike and Ang Dorje, who have seen it before and know when to tell you, look, I don't think you're going to make it. But I think their biggest job is actually, when you're sitting on the South Summit feeling absolutely awful, be able to say, you have it in you.
Make sure you can
get something to eat, get something to drink, and push on. I'd like to summit because it would be fun to do it, and I think I have it in me. It's not going to be the end of the world if I don't.
Good.
I've got lots of other things that I've got to do,
Yeah.
which are, frankly, equally or more important. But it'd be nice to do it because it'd be a nice way to kind of finish off a very exciting 2 months before I go back to start a new job,
Right.
which is a max focus for me. And it would be fun because my children have really got involved in the whole project. They've got a poster at home and they mark where I am on the mountain. So that in itself is fun.
Yeah.
And apart from that, thank you very much for doing this, and I hope you have fun when you're here in the next year or
Indeed I will.
or a year after.
Thank you very much.
So
Thank
good.
you. I really appreciate it.